It's recording.
What's up, guys? Another Shield BJJ Talks, episode 2 coming at you. We got Matt, we got Brandon, we got some stuff to talk about.
Bunch of stuff.
Stuff in general.
Yes. So first thing that we're going to talk about, ADCC trials out in Costa Mesa. Boy, was that freaking epic. And like what a lot of like these other jiu-jitsu guys are talking about is that ADCC is really becoming the tournament to be at, to win, right?
Yeah.
Like over 1,000 competitors signed up. It's just really kind of showing you like the way where jiu-jitsu is kind of going, right?
Yeah, they just signed a big deal with Flow too, didn't they?
Yeah.
They did, yeah. At the end of the last one, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because like, you know, IBJJF's kind of controlled the scene for as far as like, you know, being the promotion, and so it's kind of reminiscent of like the UFC Bellator kind of thing, and ADCC is becoming the more popular, at least for obviously in Hoagie. I mean, obviously, but you know, it seems like, you know, I don't know, does ADCC even do any gi?
No.
I think so.
I mean, you could compete in the gi if you want to.
That's so wild.
I think there's like a guy here in the Carolinas. He competed against a guy in the trials in the gi, and
That's so wild.
yeah, I mean, people remembered him, and like he was made a like Instagram reel out of. People remembered him. Just because he did the gi. But that's how it used to be back in the day. Like ADCC, it just was like whatever grappling style you're with, that's what it was.
Kind of like the old school UFC then kind of thing.
Yeah. It's clearly evident that ADCC Mo is really kind of like shaping the scene of like what jiu-jitsu's gonna be.
He really did a good job with that last one. Just the presentation, there's just everything, the matches and everything, and even like the last trials and everything like that. I think probably the guys that won that came from trials, like I think that fueled a lot of people too. It's like, you know, there's that chance of winning the trials, going into ADCC and winning your weight class, or even winning absolute.
Yeah.
But I think it's really one person that's kind of changed the game when it comes to jiu-jitsu.
Who's that?
We all know who it is. And as a matter of fact, that kind of leadways into what Mikey had to post. Mikey Musumeci. I posted this on my story. And you know what? I think jiu-jitsu is kind of taking a wrong turn. I mean, take it for what it is. I know some of you guys have like feelings and thoughts about it. But that's just not the martial arts I grew up with, and if you're down with that, that's you. Definitely not for me. What about you guys? What do you guys think? Oh, I want to side note this, that IBJJF. I want to come back to that IBJJF.
Okay.
You, Matt.
So we're going to Mikey first. Come back to IBJJF.
Well, just the you know, who he was talking about, who we just were talking about. Huh?
Yeah, that whole statement to me, I mean, because like as you were talking about the whole, you know, how martial arts is like, if I remember correctly, martial arts is more about honor and respect and things like that, and you know, and of course it's evolved, and you have, I don't know which word to use here, but it's the more colorful personalities, I guess you could say.
And I want to pause you for a second because your story's going to be gone by the time this comes out. So I'm going to read the quote from Mikey Musumeci.
You cuss, I don't cuss. So go ahead, say for what it is.
Perfect, I got you. All right, so Mikey Musumeci was, there was a story by Grappling Insider, and so he was quoted, "When you die, all the titles you've won, the God complex you have in society because you won a medal is gone because you're not alive anymore. So what stays? The impact you had on others. Like, were you a good influence, a bad influence? So when you die, and your influence was for people to take steroids and talk shit when they compete and act like you have a God complex in life because you won a medal, I think that you did a shit job in life. I think you fucked up." That's what he said, and that's kind of what we're talking about. And so, obviously, you know, the segue was because that's kind of how Gordon Ryan and all those guys have made their money by openly shit talking and all that. So
Yeah.
Matt, back to you. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you read that because like you said, it would be going by the disc goes up. But yeah, it's for me, just thinking like what John was saying, like it just ties into that honor, respect kind of thing. It's like that's I guess a lot of that is where martial arts like the core kind of is, and stuff like that. And I don't mind like colorful celebrations and stuff like that most of the time, but it's like for me personally, I'm more of I did my what I was supposed to do, what I prepared to do, and it's like I've been there before kind of thing. Not saying that I'm better or worse than anybody, but it's just that's just how I am. I got up, I did my thing, and I'm off the mat. And but it's and then Johnny and I kind of talked about it earlier. Just you can't really take those things with you. Like
Nope.
some people may remember you, but some people may not of what you did. So
Yeah.
Yeah, my take on it is I think that unfortunately it's almost like a necessary side effect to creating something that draws in crowds. I mean, like like look at the Muhammad Ali, right?
Yeah.
Like boxing was always big, but there was a huge draw to boxing because of Muhammad Ali and the fact that he talked so much crap and could back it up. And so like Gordon Ryan is really, like him or love him or love him or hate him rather. He's drawn a lot of people to the sport because they see how colorful and flamboyant he is. And so whether or not you like him or not, you have to respect the fact that he has brought in people into the fold that wouldn't have otherwise been a fan of the sport. And so, it does take away from the core of what martial arts is, but, also what that kind of attitude is doing. It's more of a WWE type of promotional attitude, but it's making it to where more people are interested.
Yeah.
And so more people are going to go to gyms or schools and they're going to sign up. And so while he directly profits off of it, indirectly everybody else does because they're like, oh, I've heard about this jiu-jitsu stuff and like that crazy dude Gordon Ryan, like let me go check it out. But that's where you, as an owner, as a professor, you can instill those values into them and be like, look, this isn't how we do it. This is how he does it. But you need to understand that that's a game. It's a play. It's not real life, and that's not what we're really about. I think people are smart enough to see that, and so I don't necessarily mind it. I think that I don't know that it from my perspective, I don't know it takes away from the sport, but it does, but does it take away more than it gives back? Now, if you've got guys at local tournaments acting like that, then it's like a different story. It's like, come on, but
That kind of leads me to this other point, and we will circle back to the IBJJF. Brailer out in the Costa Mesa Open, we seen like so many. If you guys watched the ADCC, trials that happened out there, I mean, like, guys, come on, like you see that like just the attitude that people have, man, like it's just insane. Like Brailer got like clubbed like 4 or 5 times in that match, and like he wasn't the only person. Like man, like no gi, like you don't see that as much in the gi than you do in no gi. And I understand that like maybe some jiu-jitsu guys aren't used to like maybe like the wrestling aspect. Wrestling is a little bit more rough.
Yeah.
Not a little bit more rough. It's a lot more rough.
Yeah.
It's really rough. But you know what? There are some people that straight up was like striking dudes.
Yeah.
And watching that video, it reminded me a lot of, and I said to you guys, like combat jiu-jitsu. What are your thoughts on that? I think I have my own thoughts, but what are your thoughts?
I didn't do jiu-jitsu to get hit. I did Muay Thai, man. No, I don't like to get hit. Nope. What about you, Matt? I want to slap you, bro.
I want to slap you, Johnny. No, I'm kind of in the same boat. It's like, if I want to get hit, I'm gonna do something else other than jiu-jitsu. So
it's so weird. It's not even hit. It's like slap fighting too. It's so weird. Which I think the slap competition is the dumbest thing ever. Too.
Oh man, yeah. Those are brutal, man. Some of the prettiest girls like go up on there and like slap each other. Man, I'm like, what in the world?
When like the like UFC one, they only get paid like $2,000. For a concussion, I'm good.
Hey, we should go do that. Well, Matt, I'm signing you up.
I'm gonna sign you.
Shoot,
up.
after taxes and everything and the promoter's fees, you probably get paid $500 just to get a concussion. You got to spend that at the hospital.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Plus more.
Probably more. Man, I kind of lost my train of thought. Where was I?
All right.
So
We're talking about slap fighting. Came off the brailer, and so. But I want to circle back to IBJJF.
Yeah.
Yes. So you know what? And it's still to this day, as a gym owner, maybe not just a gym owner, but if you're trying to build your brand, still the IBJJF is premier.
Yeah.
Premier. Like, no one cares about these local tournaments, and this will segue into the next topic. Like, if you're out here posting that you're a Naga world champion, look, I can't tell you to do anything about your social media posts, but there are other people out there that are going to look at you sideways for doing that. And man, you do what you want with that, or the U.S. grappling world champion, I don't know, what else. But, you know, there's a lot of weight to the IBJJF titles, whether it's the Opens or the bigger events, and I could still see an audience that still kind of pull towards the gi side. As a matter of fact, I think more beginners actually prefer the gi over no gi, still to this day. I mean, think about it, like over here, we have more people that actually do gi versus no gi.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's just because of, you know, they're scared to jump in, or, you know, or they think it's more wrestling or what. But yeah, usually tends to beginners yet stick to the gi, especially around here. It's just, and I don't know if it's because with our gym is.
I would say it
such a
depends on
little
the
lake, too.
gym.
Yeah.
Because there's another gym in town where they do a lot of no gi.
Yeah.
And you know, I feel like they draw that kind of person. Maybe.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. We do more no gi than they do.
No, we definitely do.
Yeah.
We have more no. This is
Just
the only.
throwing that out there.
This is the only gym with no gi classes 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Or
they
I guess
do.
4 days a week,
I think they actually have, like, this gym that Brandon's talking about actually has probably the biggest program, and
Yeah.
I think part of that has a lot to do with, like, who's leading it. Man, that guy's a solid dude. You know,
Yeah.
great MMA fighter.
Yeah.
And
But that's a good thing about like martial arts from your perspective. It's not this like gym versus gym mentality. It's like growing the sport, and you know, you still got a business to run, but it's like you're not gonna badmouth and crap talk people. You know, going back to the reason why that's not a core piece of what martial arts is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, but you know, I would really like to see, you know, like talking about the different promotions. I think it would be cool to like have the ADCC champ in whatever division, like do like a super fight with the IBJJF no-gi world champ. Like, I think that would be real cool, like to see.
Yeah. With that though, you'd have to kind of come upon agreements of rule set, because with the different rule sets,
Sure.
but.
well, it's
that would be cool. though.
pretty close now. I mean,
Yeah.
like, other than like the takedown rules, what do you guys think of like the new ADCC takedown rule?
Can you explain it?
Well, I think it's something to do about like wrestling up, like having your knee down for like 3 seconds, and then like taking the person down, something along those lines. But it was because of Nicky Rod. You know, like they like a lot of wrestlers, some of the more explosive wrestlers like to play off their knees. One guy in particular, way back in the day, John Smith, he played off his knees and did like low singles. Yeah, so I guess that kind of messes a lot of those jiu-jitsu guys that kind of play the wrestle up position. So, yeah, that's another thing. What else did we have on this little short? This is gonna be short, guys. Short because Mr. Brandon here is late.
Always
Late.
17 minutes today.
17 minutes, usually 15 minutes. But let us know in the comments, do you like a shorter form, you know, like 8 to 12 minutes, or do you like something longer, 20 to 30? You know, it just depends on how you're, but we want feedback. We want to know what you guys want.
We definitely hit 30 last time. We had some good points though.
Yeah. Do you have it?
Yeah, small tourneys, bragging, social media do's and don'ts.
Yeah.
Did we do that?
And that the last thing, social media do's and don'ts.
Social. We kind of touched on this a little bit. And this was just kind of brought to my attention. And it's about like these small tournaments that allow like the mixing of belts. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but like, you know what? This causes issues.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So like, okay, look, I know that they're phenom lower belts. As a matter of fact, this gym has a bunch of lower belts that would smoke pretty high level black belts. I'm not even joking about that. But when we enter into some tournaments, I think there should be some type of segregation of like the belt colors, right?
Yeah.
Because you never know. Like I watched a person force a white belt, one stripe, to come into a tournament with her, and she was well, I'm not going to say the belt color. I kind of gave too much away because it is a female that I watched on Instagram that completely demolished this white belt. It was not right. It kind of made a like tomfoolery of her on like social media, just at the expense of trying to make her, the clout chasing almost.
Yeah.
But no one's going to see that, right? No one's going to know that, because like the way the video was kind of presented, it was like you didn't even know she was a white belt.
Yeah.
It just looked like she got a freaking amazing takedown. But then again, no one knows that like this person just started week 2 of jiu-jitsu, like legit.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So pick and choose your bragging, and I think that's kind of like the moral of that, and it kind of ties into the whole thing. There's a reason why, we have different color belt, different, differentials. Mm-hmm. Why most reputable tournaments are going to have differentiating, belts. Yeah. If there's an absolute where it's just like a complete absolute, I mean, that's a knowing, you're knowingly entering into that.
Mm-hmm.
And you should know that if you're a white belt or a blue belt or even a purple belt, you're probably going to get smashed if there's some high level black belts in there. But, respect the sport. Don't be a jerk. Is pretty much like the moral of today's
pretty much, like that martial art code, right? Like
pretty much, like, and with that, like that whole situation, it's like I don't think, because there are some competitions, like if there's no one, like usually smaller ones, if there's no one in your belt color, would you move up? And it's like, I know most people would say yes, but it's like, there should be, like you said, there should be a limit to that. Like, no white belt should be going against a purple belt no matter what.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and, and kind of circling back to the Gordon thing too, like he's pointed out a lot, he like, say what you want about him, but like he's not out here like intentionally trying to hurt people, and he's not out here doing highlight rules with like blue belts like he makes fun of other people for doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like, there's a time and a place for crap talking. Local tournaments is not one.
Yeah.
If you're a blue purple belt, probably still not. Like, wait till you get your brown or your black belt and you're actually fighting against the best in the world, not the best in your state or the best in your city. Yeah. There's a time and a place for everything, and just learn your craft, perfect your craft, respect the art, and get on the mats.
Yeah,
I agree.
Well, I don't want this to go like the people out there to think that we hate Gordon Ryan. I as a matter of fact, I loved his craft. I love his craft. It's just, I think just the after effects of like people are trying to imitate him, and I think that's what I have an issue with, is that people want to build a brand that's like trying to copycat in Gordon. I think that's what I have an issue with. I don't have an issue with Gordon. Yeah. So before y'all think that I do, I don't.
Actions speak louder than words.
There's still going to be some comments down there about stuff.
It's okay.
Like, y'all silly.
It's okay.
Yeah, but I think it's those people that just kind of just drive me nuts. I mean, like, but you know what? This just a little rant. I think that also that flow grappling kind of pushes these youngins to really kind of idolize some of the people in jiu-jitsu that's all they do. And I think there should be a healthy approach. If you're a growing teen and you're living in your mom's house chasing the dream, I think we need to find a balance. Mm-hmm. That will be for the next talk. I think we should talk about that, because that's another culture thing that I think jiu-jitsu needs to shift. Because you know, like when I'm an SRO at a school, and then like the one thing that you see a lot of people talk about, like these kids, you know what they want to be? Not a lot of them talk about being cops, doctors, lawyers, or anything fruitful in society. They want to be a YouTube person. Look, we have a lawyer to my side, a cop, business owner, and then we got Matthew.
Who's jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades.
You make me sound like I was unemployed.
Then you got Matt.
I do have a job, thank you.
No.
Blue collar worker. Let's put it that way.
He's in school too.
No, I love you, Matt.
No, but there's an attraction to that lifestyle in the same way there's an attraction to the way that, like, you know, the way that Gordon does things. And, you know, at the end of the day, you know, like you said, he's able to do those things because he's good. So focus on getting good, and then, you know, the other stuff will come naturally, or it won't, you know. But if you're not good, then there's no point in talking crap, because no one's gonna listen to you.
I know, you know, people are gonna listen. They're gonna look at you sideways. They're gonna look, and then guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna send your reel to all their other friends and start talking so much smack. I'll bet you my stupid reels get passed around saying it's all sorts of stuff. But that's just something you need to accept. When you go around blasting some white belt on social media, don't be foolish to think that no one's going to be saying something.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I think that's it. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell thing that these people say to do. Be notified. We're gonna.
Oh, no, I didn't know that was a thing. Go ahead, keep going.
Hey, man.
I don't know technology.
You're on this channel, bro. You gotta subscribe.
I'm subscribed.
Oh my god.
I just didn't know the alert thing was a thing. Come on.
But also, if you guys want breakdown of techniques, just shoot a comment down. Tell us what you want us to talk about. But for real, we need to talk about, like, with this crazy lifestyle that people are doing. We need to be, you know,
Correcting that.
not correcting that. I meant just like fruitful members of society.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Instead of being bums, get off your mom's couch, man. Go to work. Anyways, next time. See you next Friday.
That's gotta go in there.
That's terrible. That was